श्री गणेशाय नमः। श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। We saw, while explaining how knowledge takes place, four types of Chaitanya, fourfold Chaitanya, and how that fourfold Chaitanya was divided, distributed, or differentiated. It was differentiated based on for the entity for which it forms adhisthana. So whether it is pramavrutti, prameya vritti, pramana vritti, or pramatru vritti. And based on that vritti, the names were given pramana chaitanya, pramatru chaitanya, etc. And with this explanation, it was explained that for object outside, there is twofold illumination. Or in the antahkarana vritti, for the which pertains to objects outside, there is twofold illumination. One which is by adhisthana chaitanya, and other one is by reflected consciousness, that is chidabhasa. And both are required for the knowledge of objects outside. Then it was explained for the objects inside, inside as in this body. Inside and outside, here it is referring to in reference with this body. For knowing objects inside, where Atma directly was being referred, to know Atma, you don't need Chidabhasa. Why do you not need Chidabhasa? Because Chaitanya itself is self-evident, and any vritti which is formed inside in this body, Dehastha, is directly illumined by Atma Chaitanya itself. After having explained this, a question was raised. Now the further discussion, actually we have started with this discussion, but let's do quick recap. The description is, the question is, Chaitanya, Brahma na jnanendriyanam vishyaha. I understand that for knowledge to take place, you need Indriya. Without Indriya, you don't have Pratyaksha Jnana, direct knowledge. Now the word here is being referred as Pratyaksha. Based on the explanation which has already been so far given, the student is asking question, for knowledge to take place, what do you need? You need Indriya. For knowing, you need Indriyas. For knowing, what do you need? You need Indriya. Okay. Brahman is not object of knowledge for Indriya. It doesn't have any form or color, etc. So it cannot be seen by eyes. Therefore, how is it possible to know Brahman directly? Without using Indriya, Indriya Sambandham Vina, without coming in contact with Indriya sense organs, how can Brahman be known? Now in this discussion, another person, he is going to try answer the question which have been raised by Shishya. Now the further discussion is between the third party and Shishya, and then again it is going to come back to Shishya and Guru. Tattvadrushti asks, I have understood that by directly knowing Brahman alone, ignorance and all its effects can be removed. Here is the doubt. If Indriyajanya knowledge can be gained through Indriyas alone, and if Brahman cannot be object of Indriya, object of sense organs, how can you know Brahman? Therefore, Brahman cannot be known directly. There, somebody comes and says, no, it is not necessary. In Purana, Rama, Krishna, all these avatars, they have been referred to as Brahman. Brahman, embodied Brahman. Brahman with embodiment. And they are seen with our eyes. So, Brahman can be known directly. For which answer is given, no. This cannot be the answer. Why? Because when Rama, Krishna, etc. are being referred to as Brahma, their embodiments cannot be Brahman. Rama, Krishna are being referred to as Brahman by Rama and Krishna are indicated as Brahman by Badha Samanadhikaranya. When you take away the body part, embodiment part, what is left behind is Brahman. Otherwise, their embodiment is like any other jiva. It is similar to any other jiva. And therefore, it cannot be as same as Brahman. But there is difference. Now Shishya answers, actually there is difference. What is the difference? The embodiments, here we were seeing, parantu iyan bhedaha asti. There is one difference. What is it? Jivanam shariram punya papadhinam bhutakaryancha. The embodiments of jiva are punya papadhina. They are subjugated to punya and papa. They have punya and papa as their cause. And they are made up of pancha mahabhuta, bhutakarya. Kincha jivanam dehadi anatma padartheshu avidya balat aham mama iti adhyasaha bhavati sacha adhyasaha acharyopadesha nivartate. For jivas, they have aham mama, this is me, this is my body, etc. All this delusion, adhyasa, on account of ignorance. And that ignorance is destroyed because of acharyopadesha, guru upadesha. When guru teaches, gives knowledge, and that knowledge is gained. But the embodiments of Rama and Krishna, there are not born of punya or papa, neither are they made up of 5 elements. Parantu सृष्टेः प्राक् रामकृष्णादीनां शरीरं तु न तदीय पुण्य पापजन्यं नापि भौतिकम्. The embodiments of Rama and Krishna are not born, not because of their punya and papa, and neither are they made up of 5 elements. Parantu सृष्टेः प्राक् यदा प्राणिनां कर्म फलदानोन्मुखं भवति तदा आप्तकामस्यापि ईश्वरस्य प्राणिनां कर्मानुसारेण अहं जगत्सृजेयम् इति संकल्पः जायते. तेन संकल्पेन जगदुत्पत्तिरूपा सृष्टिर्भवति. So, answer is given. Rama and Krishna, their sharira, what happens is, at the beginning of creation, when the creation starts, when the karma which has been performed by all jiva starts to fructify, only when the karma starts to fructify, to give that particular karma phala to those particular jiva, Srishti is created. Till then it is in avyakta avastha, unmanifest state. And at that time, aptakamasyapi ishwarasya praninam aptakama, the Ishvara who is aptakama, aptasankalpa, karmanusarena, I will sankalpa. He imagines that I will create this world, I will create this entire creation according to the karma phala of all those jivas. And because of that sankalpa, Srishti is created. This entire creation comes about. तथैव सृष्टेः परमपि अहम जगत पालयेयम इति ईश्वरस्य संकल्पः जायेत. Then also he does sankalpa. What? I will take care of this entire creation which I have created. And by that sankalpa, he protects, he nourishes this entire creation. Now, in what form he nourishes this entire creation? What type of nourishment is this? It is said, karmanusarena sukha-dukkhadi sambandha eva palanam ityuchyate. What is palana? Giving appropriate results according to appropriate karma alone is palana. That alone is taking care of, that alone is nourishing. Palana sankalpa madhye उपासकानां उपासना फलत्वेन रामकृष्णादि नाम सहिता मूर्तयः सर्वेषां प्रतीयन्ताम् इति च ईश्वरस्य संकल्पः भवति. And in this sankalpa alone, where he is doing sankalpa, now sankalpa is mental activity. It's not physical. He has as though imagined. And that alone is this entire creation. There is no physical activity, no karma involved from the side of Ishvara during this entire creation. It is not karma as we perform. It is just sankalpa. Like we dream. When we dream, are we performing any karma? No. There is no karma at all. Just like that, Ishvara has dreamt, imagined. And in that, what he imagines is, what he says is, as the karma phalas are going to be given for karmas which have been performed, those who are upasakas, those who are doing my upasana, those who are my devotees, bhaktas, for them I will give darshana. I will appear in front of them in those particular embodiments as Rama and Krishna. So he imagined himself as having taken embodiment. So for his embodiment, no karma is responsible. For Jiva, their embodiment was on account of karma. But for Ishvara, it is not so. Karmanusarena sukha dukkhadi anena Ishvara sankalpena nama rupadi rahite Ishvare Ramakrishnadi namani pitambaradi sahita sundara vigrahasya utpadyante. Nate Ramakrishnadi nam vigrahaha tadiya karmadhinaha. So, the final verdict is embodiments of all avatara are born of Ishvara Sankalpa and not because of Ishvara's own karma. And how they are born? With different names and different, like Pitambara, etc. Different descriptions, as all those which we have seen in Purana. Taishya Ramakrishnadi vigrahaihi sadhunam sukham दुष्टानां दुःखं च उत्पद्यते. Now, here again there is a doubt and answer. तैश्च रामकृष्णादि विग्रहैः साधूनां सुखं दुष्टानां दुःखं च उत्पद्यते. By those vigraha, by those embodiments, by those avatara sharira, sukha is given, sukha is experienced by sadhu, good people, and dukkha, sorrows are experienced by the evil people, evil doers. यश शरीरम यस्य सुख दुःखादेर हेतुः भवति तत् शरीरम तदीय पुण्य पापजन्यम इति न्यायः. अनेन न्यायेन रामकृष्णादीनां शरीरम साधूनां सुखहेतुत्वात् साधूनां पुण्यपुञ्जफलम् असुरादीनां दुष्टानां दुःखहेतुत्वात् तेषां पापफलं च भवति. एवं अवतार पुरुष शरीरस्यापि पुण्यपापाधीनत्वात् तदधीनत्वोक्तिः असंगता इति चेत्. If you say now, for all those sadhu, those who are Rishimuni, etc., they have performed a good karma, they have performed punya karma, and because of that punya karma, they are going to have darshana, they are going to directly experience avatara sharira in with embodiment. They are going to see avatars. They are going to interact with them. And for dushta, they are going to experience sorrow, they are going to incur wrath. That means maybe because Ishvara may not have performed any karma, but for Ishvara to take embodiment, the punya and papa performed by good people and evil people respectively is responsible. So, for embodiment of Ishvara, for avatara sharira, there is karma in its cause. That karma let that karma be performed by someone else. It may not be performed by Ishvara itself, but yet that embodiment is because of someone's karma. If you say so, then understand it in this way. So this is not the answer. जीवेन पूर्व शरीरे कृत पुण्य पापयोः फलम् उत्तर शरीरे तस्यैव सुख दुःखादि रूपं भवति. Let me read this entire paragraph and then give you the answer. It is not really necessary to go word by word here because this is a general topic. तस्मात् शरीराभिमानवतो जीवस्य पूर्वजन्मनि स्वेनैव कृत पुण्यपापयोः अधीनम् उत्तर शरीरम इत्युच्यते. Understand it in this way. The logic that you have given may seem logical, but it is not so. When we say punya and papa is responsible for embodiment, we are seeing it one particular frame of reference. You cannot go out of that reference. What do you mean? Understand. Punya and papatmaka karma, any good or bad deed performed by jiva, the result of that is experienced by that same jiva in different embodiment based on that particular karma. So, for that particular karma phala to be experienced in that particular embodiment, in that particular body. That same jiva should have performed karma responsible for that karma phala. So if I am experiencing any joys and sorrows in this right now, in this birth, for which I don't have any frame of reference, I don't know what good karma or what bad deed which I have done, the answer is in my past life. But this is not the case with Rama and Krishna the avatar. For avatar sharira, sadhu asadhu jana sukha dukha hetutvat sadhva sadhu jana krita punya papadhinam eva. Their embodiments are on account of good deeds and bad deeds done by those respective people, and not because of their own karma. Natu Ramakrishnadi Punya Papadhinam. That embodiment is not on account of punya and papa performed by themselves, they themselves. Because Rama in his embodiment has performed good karma, it is not going to cause him new birth. He is Ishvara himself. Even though he performs karma, he is a karta, a bhokta, all the time. So he is not going to plant seed for next embodiment. अतएव न तेन शरीरेण रामकृष्णादीनां सुख दुःख भोगाः. Therefore, Rama and Krishna do not experience joys and sorrows because of those embodiments. Tasmat Ramakrishnadyavatar Purusha Shariram Tadiya Punya Papadyadhinam Na iti siddham. Therefore, it is proved that the embodiments of Avatara Sharira are not because of their own punya and papa. They are out of Ishvara Sankalpa, and it is to give joys and sorrow for those particular upasaka, good people and good and bad people. किंच रामकृष्णादि शरीरम न पंचभूत परिणामः किंतु चैतन्याश्रित माया परिणामः. Now, the embodiments of Rama and Krishna are not are not made up of 5 elements, but they are directly created from Maya. Now again there is back and forth question answer. Panchíkrita bhuta parinamatve Krishna sharirasya रज्जुकृत बंधना विषयत्वं भागवतादिषु वर्णितम् असंगम भवेत्. If you say their embodiments are out of 5 Panchamahabhuta, 5 elements, then in Bhagavata there is this story where Krishna is not bound by that rope, that Ukhala Bandhana. Then that Yashoda Mata tries to tie Krishna with rope. That rope is always 2 finger short. It is always left short. Now, if that embodiment was like Panchamahabhuta, Yashoda Maya could have tied. Why? Samana Satta. But she could not tie. Why? Because it is not Panchamahabhuta Sharira. That embodiment is not made up of 5 elements. And if we accept that those embodiments also are made up of Pancha Mahabhuta, then the problem is the katha which we see, that bandhana, ukhala bandhana, that will become mithya. That would be illogical. That cannot be proved. No, but don't we see yogi sharira? Yogis, by yoga, by performing enormous tapas, they have better and greater embodiments like that. यद्यपि पंचभूत कार्य योगी शरीरस्यापि बंधना विषयत्वं दृश्यते. For those yogis also, we don't see, they are not bound in one place. We don't see they being bound in one place. Even though such is the case, tathapi yoga shariram prathamam bandhana vishayatam apadyaiva पश्चात योग महिमना बंध विमुक्तम भवति. What you say is true, but the thing is, those yogis are not born without bondage. Initially, their embodiments are bound. They are bound. They are baddha. And because of yoga mahima, they become mukta. But such is not the case with Rama and Krishna. Krishnadi shariram tu no na yoga shariravad yoga mahimna bandha vishayatam yati किंतु स्वभावतः एव बंधाद्यवशम तस्मात् न अवतार पुरुष शरीरम पंचभूत परिणामः. Unlike yoga sharira, Krishna sharira is never bound, and therefore it never gets liberated, mukta. It is always free from all bondages. It's not that earlier it was bound and later it became free, like in case of yogis. Therefore, avatara purusha sharira, embodiments of avatara, are not made up of pancha mahabhuta, 5 elements. Now you may say that in Mandukya Upanishad, Anandagiriji had said something that is being referred. Bhagavat Padakrita Mandukyopanishad Bhashyasya Tikayam Anandagiri Swamibhi Ramadi Sharirasya Bhuta Parinamatvam Yaduktam Tadapi Sthula Drushtinam Itara Sharira Tulyataya Eva Avatara Purusha Shariram Api Pratiyate Ityabhiprayena Iti Mantavyam. Now, even though Anandagiriji has referred to or has explained in Mandukya Bhashya that Ramakrishna Adi Sharira, their embodiments are made up of Panchamahabhuta, that is only for the sake of explanation with reference to other embodiments, not in reality. Just so that we understand, it is being referred. No, how can you say so? How can you be partial? He has written Bhashya on he has written Tika, sub-commentary on whose commentary Bhashya Acharya Adi Shankaracharya ji, and it has been accepted everywhere. But understand one thing, if he has written Tippani or sub-commentary on Acharya Adi Shankaracharya ji, he must have read something which has been said by Adi Shankaracharya ji. Adi Shankaracharya in his Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, he says in the beginning itself, Ataeva Bhagavad Padaihi Gita Bhashyopakrame cha sacha Bhagavan Swam Mayam Vashikritya Ajaha Avyayaha Apisan Swamayaya Dehavan Iva Jataha cha Iva cha लोकानुग्रहं कुर्वन् इव लक्ष्यते इति. जगतः स्थिति परिपिपालयिषुः सः आदिकर्ता विष्णुः देवक्यां वसुदेवा देवक्यां वसुदेवात् अंशेन कृष्णः किल संबभूव इति च कृष्णशरीरं मायाकार्यत्वेन वर्णितम्. Bhashyakara himself has explained that embodiment as Maya Karya. How? Swam Mayam Vashikritya, taking support of his own Maya, even though he is Aja, without any birth, Avyaya, without any modification, without any change, without any embodiment. He became as though having an embodiment. How? On account of Maya. How? Jagataha sthiti paripipalaishuhu. He was desirous of nurturing, protecting this entire creation. And because he was desirous of nurturing and protecting this entire creation, the creator of this entire creation desired to be born, as though to be born by Vasudeva in the garbha of Devaki, and there he took embodiment as Krishna. In this way, the embodiment of Krishna has been explained as that which is born of Maya and not born of Panchamahabhuta. Tasmat, therefore, na bhutebhyaha avatara purusha shariram utpadyate. The avatara purusha sharira, those embodiments of avatara purusha, avataras, are not born of or not made up of Panchamahabhuta. Kintu tadupadana karanam sakshat Maya eva. But their upadana karana is Maya itself. How can you say so? I understand it's so much relatable, but give me something tangible which I can intellectually understand. See, this again, you can say like emotional understanding and shraddha, etc. But give me something which I can tangibly accept, which my intellectually I can satisfy myself. Simple. We already have seen this. Itareshaam jivanam dehe ahamiti atma bhranti asti. All other embodiments except for avatara. Are they bhranta? Are they deluded? Yes, they are deluded. Ramakrishnaadinam tu sa bhranti na asti. Na sa bhranti asti. For Rama and Krishna, they are never deluded. They never not know their own Swarupa. They always do know who they are, what their true nature is. Why? They are Ishvara. Jivasya upadhibhuta avidya malina sattva yukta. Jiva has avidya and it is malina sattva. Is it not? Yes, it is malina sattva. Therefore, Jiva is under the influence of avidya. Yes. Ramakrishnadinam upadhit bhuta mayatu shuddha sattvayuta. But that which acts as upadhi, conditioning for the embodiments of Rama and Krishna, that Maya is shuddha sattva, is predominant in sattva guna. Therefore, Maya is under their control. Tasmat jivasya avidya karya bhuta bhranti Ramakrishnadehe Maya karya bhuta sarvajñatvam chasti. So Jiva is bound, Jiva is under the influence of avidya, ignorance, and is ignorant. But for Rama and Krishna, they being Ishvara, they are sarvajña because of the conditioning Maya. Jivasya ajnana prayukta varana bhrantya अज्ञान प्रयुक्तावरण भ्रांत्योः निवृत्तये आचार्य मुखात् महावाक्योपदेशजन्य ज्ञानमपेक्षितम्. For Jiva to be free from that bondage, they need to destroy that ignorance. To destroy that ignorance, they need to get knowledge, and that knowledge can be gained by upadesha from competent acharya and guru. रामकृष्णादेः आवरणभ्रान्त्योः अभावेन उपदेशजन्यज्ञानं नापेक्षितम्. But for Rama and Krishna, they don't need any such upadesha. Why? Because avarana itself is not there. For Ishvara, there is no avarana caused by Maya. He knows his own true nature. Tathapi, जीवस्थान्तःकरणवृत्तिरूप ज्ञानम् इव ईश्वरस्य मायावृत्तिरूपात्मज्ञानमुपदेशं विनैव जायते. So Ishvara knows himself to be Ishvara without any upadesha. Now this may sound funny, but this is how it is. If the question is raised of such kind, the answer is going to be of the same kind. It's foolish. See, can light see light? The answer is light sees light in his own light. Is it not? That's how it is. Kintu न तेन ज्ञानेन किंचिदपि प्रयोजनम ईश्वराणाम सिद्ध्यति. But that knowledge has no purpose for Ishvara. Ishvara, when we say that Ishvara knows himself, Ishvara is Sarvajna, he is aware of his own true nature. For that knowledge, there is no prayojana, as in case of Jiva, getting liberated, etc. No. Mukti, etc. is not prayojana for knowing one's own true nature. For Ishvara, he is ever liberated, nitya mukta. तथा हि जीवस्य घटादि ज्ञानेन आवरण भंगः घटादि रूप विषयस्य प्रकाशश्च इति फलं सिद्ध्यति. For Jiva, घटादि ज्ञानेन आवरण भंगः, by knowing घट, the destruction of veiling. घटादि रूप विषयस्य प्रकाशश्च फलं सिद्ध्यति. So there is vritti vyapti and phala vyapti. The illumination of ghatadi rupa vishaya is proved. For jiva you need both vritti vyapti and phala vyapti. Jivasya aham brahma brahmakaratma jnanodayetu. But when aham brahma vritti takes place, तादृश ज्ञान विषयी भूतस्य आत्मनः आवरण भंगमात्रं ज्ञानेन जन्यते. By that jnana, avarana bhanga alone takes place. But the vishaya of that jnana, the object of knowledge, atmarupah vishayah tu swayameva prakashate, being self-evident, you don't need any other light to illumine Atma. You don't need any other source of Chaitanya to illumine that Chaitanya. Atma Rupaha Vishayaha tu Swayameva Prakashate. Tasmat Atma Jnanena Vishayaha na Prakashate. So, by Atma Jnana, that Atma Jnana Vritti, that Vritti Chaitanya, the Chidabhasa which is present in that Vritti, as though it or Chidabhasa which was present in Ghatakara Vritti was required to illumine Ghata, but such Chaitanya is not required to be present in Vritti to illumine Atma. Therefore, Atma does not become Vishaya for that Vritti. what that vritti does is, the only function that vritti does is it unveils, it destroys veiling, nothing else. एवं ईश्वरस्य अहं ब्रह्मास्मि इति मायावृत्तिरूपज्ञानस्य विषयभूतः ईश्वरस्य आत्मा आवरणरहित स्वयं प्रकाश स्वरूपः अस्ति। तस्मात् आवरणभङ्गः वा विषयप्रकाशो वा न ईश्वरज्ञानस्य प्रयोजनम्। So earlier was true for Jiva, but for Ishvara there is no requirement for destruction of veiling and illumination. Let's if you try to apply that same explanation in case of Ishvara, Ishvara has aham brahmasmi iti maya vritti rupa jnana. In that maya vritti, always aham brahmasmi, that vritti itself is there. Then that Ishvara, Ishvarasya atma avarana rahita, but the Ishvara is without veiling, avarana rahita, and swayam prakasha, he is self-evident. Therefore, for Ishvara, that aham brahmasmi vritti serves no purpose. Neither is it required for avarana bhanga nor for illumination. How is it so? Just as in case of Jivan Mukta, those who are liberated while living. यथा जीवन मुक्तस्य विदुषः आवरणरहितमात्मानं विषयीकुर्वन्ति अहं ब्रह्मास्मि इति अंतःकरणवृत्तिः आवरणभंगादि प्रयोजनशून्या भवति, तथैव ईश्वरस्यापि आवरणभंगादि प्रयोजनशून्यं मायावृत्तिरूपम् अहं ब्रह्मास्मि इति ज्ञानं विना एव उपदेशादि साधनम् उत्पद्यते. For Jivan Mukta, continuously in their mind aham brahmasmi vritti is going on. So all the time, because their mind, when we say Jivan Mukta, their mind is always sthira in Brahman. It is samahita, samadhista in Brahman. If such is the case, that means in their antahkarana, aham brahmasmi vritti is eternally flowing. Now, if they have gained knowledge and avarana bhanga has taken place, what is the purpose of that aham brahmasmi vritti? No purpose at all. It is there. Why? Because it has become their nature. It is the nature of their antahkarana. So, as in case of Jivan Mukta, the aham brahmasmi vritti in their antahkarana is without any purpose, prayojana shunya. In the same way, is for it should be understood for Ishvara. That maya vritti rupa aham brahmasmi jnanam. For Ishvara, that aham brahmasmi jnana is without any purpose and it is born itself without any upadesha, without any teaching. In this way, ittham Ramakrishnadinam jivat vaishishtya sattvena ishwaratvam siddhyati. Because of these differences, on account of these differentiating factors, Ishwaras in avatara of Ishwara, Rama and Krishna are different from Jiva. They are not Jiva. Tathapi tesham shariram maya karyam. their embodiments are Maya Karya, born of Maya. Ataeva natat Brahma Rupam. Because it is Maya Karya, born of Maya, they are not Brahma Rupa. Their embodiment itself is not Brahman. Kintu mithya. But it is mithya. Maya Karya Bhutam Avatar Purushanam Shariram Karacharanadyavayavopetam Rupasahitam Chotpaditam. Maya Karya Bhutam Avatar Purushanam Shariram. Their embodiments are with hands, legs, etc. just as our embodiments. Tasmat tesham shariram netrendriya vishayatam apadyate. So, those embodiments do come in contact with eyes. Tathapi netrendriyam na brahma vishayi karoti. Even though that embodiment has become Vishaya for our eyes are not seeing Brahman but Maya Karya. What eyes are seeing is Maya and not Brahman. So, same logic is continued. And author is now going to explain. Eyes have been taken care of. About eyes have been explained. Now what about touch, smell, etc.? That is going to be explained, but we will see that next time in continuation. And he is also going to answer and explain or ask about karma, etc. Can it be the follow of karma? But that we will see next time. Om Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya samastaloka sukhino bhavantu samastaloka sukhino bhavantu samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.